Good afternoon. My name is Thelma Chavez, and I am a program coordinator in the Center for the Advancement of Students in Academia at San Diego State University. I work in the College of Sciences. In particular, I'm the coordinator for the CSU LSAT, MARC, and MESA programs, and I'm excited to be able to share with you some opportunities and information through our CASA programs. So a little bit about me before we get started. I was born in New York. I grew up here in San Diego. I graduated from Madison High School in Claremont. Normally when I do this presentation in person, I ask the group of students if anybody has attended Madison High School, and I go, yay, Warhawks. But in this virtual environment and using a recording, that doesn't work the same. I went to UCSD and earned my bachelor's of psychology back in 1991, probably way before any of you were born. When I first graduated, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I really liked math and numbers, so I worked at a bank in the accounts payable department. And then I had a high school friend who already worked at San Diego State and said, oh, there's this job in the College of Engineering you might be interested in. You should apply. And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know what that means, but here I am 27 years later. I was a program assistant. I've been a program advisor, a coordinator, sorority advisor, and then a student organization advisor for STEM organizations. So that's a little bit about me. So you never know where life's going to take you. A little bit about our Center for the Advancement of Students in Academia. We are housed in the College of Sciences. The CASA houses 17 programs for STEM students. They focus on academic and professional development, offering research opportunities, faculty and staff mentoring, academic enrichment workshops, scholarships and fellowships, and then basically help for students from when they get to state till graduation to what they want to do after, whether that's obtaining a teaching credential that's teach in the STEM fields, going to graduate school, or professional school. And that is our website if you want to learn more about all the different programs within the CASA. So I'm going to talk to you about a variety of things, but I want to start off, since this is a career in psychology class, I wanted to briefly touch on the different degrees in psychology that you can obtain. I think throughout this class, you'll have different speakers who will talk more in depth about the different fields and areas. So I'm just going to go briefly. Of course, when you're at community college, you can obtain an associate's arts degree from community college, and then you transfer it to the university. Currently at San Diego State, we only offer a bachelor's of arts degree in psychology. I know at UCSD, they also offer a Bachelor of Science in addition to the Bachelor of Arts. So this is a BS versus the BA. And of course, it has different requirements. It depends on the school, but BS is not offered at San Diego State for psychology currently. Then there's the various master's degrees, the MA, the MS, so the Masters of Arts, the Masters of Science, Masters in Family Therapy, and Masters of Social Work, just a wide variety of fields that psychology students can go into. Of course, just to let you know, I will also share these slides with your instructor so you can go through them at your own pace at another time. All right. After your bachelor's, that's funny, that's a new degree. It's a combination of bachelor's and master's. It's a bachelor's. Anyway, some students want to go on and earn their doctorate degree. So there's the PhD, which is research-based. There's a wide variety of doctoral programs in psychology, from clinical to neuro, cognitive, counseling, health, neuropsychology, so it's neuroscience, neuropsychology, social psychology. There's so many, educational psychology, just a wide variety. PsyD, I am not as familiar with the PsyD because we don't offer that at San Diego State, and but it is more for students aspiring to be more like clinical practitioners. But I think someone later on in the class will talk to you more about PsyD. Yes, a PhD is required if you want to have your own private practice. If you want to teach at a university, let me preface that if you want to be a tenure track faculty at a university, we do have lecturers who have master's degree. But you're also, if you want to be a tenure track faculty and also do have your own research lab. Lost my train of thought a little bit. So the doctoral degree, there's also separately the field of clinical psychology, which includes clinical, child, and forensic psychologists. Forensics has grown over the years, especially a lot of those Criminal Minds shows, things like that. And then of course the psychiatrist, which is actually, you're getting an MD in psychiatry. So it is a professional degree. So you're going to medical school. You're not going to obtain your PhD. All right. Some other jobs you might not think of that you can earn after you obtain your bachelor's degree. For some who may not want to go on beyond the bachelor's degree, there's advertising, career counselors, case managers, childcare workers, laboratory assistants. I apologize, that's my dog, a little ferocious Chihuahua. Market researcher, probation officer, rehabilitation specialist, sales, social services, teachers, writer. One I don't have on there that I thought I had on there is human resources. Many psychology and sociology degrees work also in human resources. We have quite a few here at San Diego State in our human resources department. As I take a breath, so I want to talk to you about a couple of programs within our CASA that are especially geared towards psychology majors. So of the 16 umbrella programs, these 6 programs either accept psychology majors or are only for psychology majors. And I'm going to talk about them one-on-one, individually, one-on-one. So ADAR, Advancing Diversity in Aging Research. You'll have the opportunity to click on these links later and read more detail about each program, but I'm going to kind of give you the gist of it. So one, the main thing about advancing diversity in aging research, you have to be interested in aging related research. So if you're interested in dementia, Alzheimer's, those kind of areas of research, you really should be a rising sophomore, which I think is a lot of you because you have to have 3 years left before graduating. So if you apply now, you can't be graduating until, let's see if I can do my math, 2023. You would be graduating in May 2023. You have to have a minimum GPA 3.0. It's actually for biology or psychology majors, as long as you're interested in aging related research. And of course, you want to go on and obtain your PhD with an emphasis in conducting aging related research. So you want to get your PhD in that field also. ADAR has many benefits: the hands-on research, a summer research experience, seminars, and then stipends. They pay you to do research. They help with tuition and books. It's a very well-funded program and very supportive of students. ICANN is Introduction to Campus Activities and Networking. Some of you may have been in this program as an incoming freshman or a transfer student. It's a weekly course called Science 200, led by our College of Science Assistant Dean for Student Affairs, Dr. Estrelita Martin. It currently meets every Wednesday, I can't remember if it's 12 or 1 o'clock, where incoming freshmen and transfer students are matched with peer mentors, but also have mentoring through Dr. Martin. You learn about campus resources. You learn more in depth too about all the different CASA programs, because the course is for any science major. So they could be computer science, math, biology, chemistry, astronomy, and then of course psychology. A lot of the mentors, the upper division students who are peer mentors, are from the psychology or biology fields. As I mentioned, it is for incoming freshmen and transfer students, and the course is offered both fall and the spring. So if you're a first year student now and you didn't enroll in it this semester, and you're interested, you can enroll in it in the spring semester. You just want to look on the schedule for the Science 200 course. So you don't have to be in it fall to go into it in spring. And then if you're a student who's been here longer, a continuing student, and you're interested in being a mentor, you might want to a peer mentor, you might want to reach out to Dr. Martin. That's something that's great, looks great on your CV or resume, that you've mentored other students and assist them with their, college, their academic career here at the university. HPAL is the Health Professions Advising Office. So for those of you who might, as I mentioned, are interested in becoming a psychiatrist, which is a professional degree program, this is the office for you. It is led by Logan Watson, who is the HPAL advisor. They work with you step by step from once you say you have an interest in obtaining an MD or DO or DPM or DDS or, veterinary degree. They work with you to become competitive applicants for those schools after obtaining your bachelor's degree. So I'd look on the website for more information if that's what you're interested in. Pre-Mark is one of the programs that I coordinate. It is geared towards freshmen and sophomore level students who are interested in learning about what is research, how do I get involved in research, if I want to go to graduate school, what do I need to do now to prepare to be a competitive applicant for graduate school? How do I find research? How do I find a mentor? How do I interview with a faculty who I'm interested in to work in their lab? So it's a semester-long course. It's every spring. It's called Gen S 250. We take only up to 15 students a semester because it's really, we work with students individually on the labs they want to get into. We review personal statements, we do mock interviews, so we can try to keep it small, but it's open to actually to any STEM major. So any science and or engineering major who's interested in learning more about research and getting involved. Right. The benefits of IMSD and MARC. So I put these two programs together. IMSD is the initiative for maximizing student development, and MARC is maximizing access to research careers. Both programs, funded by the National Institutes of Health, are for students who know 100% after you earn your bachelor's degree, you want a PhD. So you want to be a professor, you want to have your own research lab, you want to maybe work in private sector out of the research lab, it depends, but you want a PhD. So you want to go on for your doctoral degree. Both programs pay you to do research. You are mentored by a faculty, of course, in your field. MARC does help with the cost of tuition and textbooks for the 4 semesters you're in the program. IMSD helps funding research-related supplies. We both provide travel to conferences when it's non-COVID times, of course. I've traveled to conferences with students, local and national. I've been to, 10 different states to attend research-related conferences, in Texas, in Florida, in New York, in Washington. California too, we've been to San Jose, and students go to these conferences and present their research to a national audience, which helps make that become more competitive for graduate school. You have the opportunity to conduct summer research at another university. So you apply for summer research programs and could go anywhere across the nation and do research all the way in New York at Cornell. You could do research at Harvard, Utah, anywhere that offer these summer research programs. We have lots of professional development seminars. I'm going to talk about some of those we're offering this semester on the last slide. Any student conducting research has to take an ethics and a responsible conduct of research course, a scientific writing course, and then we still have GRE prep, though in these current times, the GRE requirement has been waived. So the scholars applying for PhD programs to enter in fall 2021 are not required to take GRE at this time, so they're very excited. And those of you who aren't familiar with the GRE, it's similar to the SAT or ACT, but like on steroids. It's just a little more intense. But you could Google either GRE or exam and see kind of what a sample, they have sample ones on the ETS website, ets.org, which is education. They call it EVIL testing services, but it's educational testing services. And they're the ones that give the GRE exams, etc. And then these programs also help with graduate school application fees, because like applying to undergrad, it can be quite costly to apply to graduate programs. And when you're applying to graduate school, you typically apply to anywhere between 5 and 10 schools. All right, PSP, or the Partnership Scholars Program. So it's another program where you're involved in research, except for this research is cancer-related research and cancer health disparities. So I think anyone who's funded by one of the National Institutes of Health or National Science Foundation, health disparities is a big thing. So it's looking at populations where some health issues are more prevalent based on either gender, ethnicity, culture, and then there are disparities, could be disparities in healthcare and access to healthcare, and I'm losing my train of thought of the words, in the actual disease. So in the MARC program, there is actually a course that you take, that we have you take, that talks about health disparities. The benefit of the Partnership Scholars Program, of course, is you're doing summer research in cancer-related areas, and you receive funding for that summer research. You present your research at the UCSD Research Symposium at the end of the semester, and then they have year-round activities that improve communication skills, build scientific networks, and enhance the ability to attain graduate level education. So they're making you more competitive to go to graduate school. Oh, I guess that's the end of the CASA programs. And this, I wanted to show you a couple pictures of the students within the programs. You can see up here at the top one, these are some students from the MARC program at graduation, or at a graduation celebration at the PI's house, Dr. Kathy Atkins. This was a couple years ago. So Rifki is in a neuroscience PhD program at Boston University. Daniel's in an environmental engineering PhD program in University of Southern Florida. Madison and Elena are both in PhD programs at the University of Washington. And May is in a neuroscience program in University of Oregon, or Oregon State. So the following year, these young ladies graduated, and Anita is in a PhD program in environmental engineering at Cornell. Laura Lay is in a PhD program in environmental engineering at Stanford, and Nicole is in a computational neuroscience program. She was a math major as an undergrad, but went into neuroscience, and she's at Boston University, and she entered a year after Rifki, so they're actually at the same school, which is great. It's very interesting. So this is Eric. He's presenting his research at a national conference. He is currently finishing up his PhD at UCSF in biochemistry. And then these are just a group of students after one of our events. And if you can believe it, this was me when I first started working at San Diego State. This was when I got my, saying 25 years, but I'm actually 27. It's 27 years this year working at San Diego State. Wow, look at that young, look at all that hair. Wow. And those shoulder pads, can you tell, you know, look at state, let's leave that photo. All right, I want to go over a couple of things that will also help you grow as a student, whether you want to go into grad school or not. These are things you definitely want to get involved in. So for research, you know, get to know your professors. The majority of your professors, 90%, 99% of them have research labs. So say you have Dr. Marinkovich for a class. She has a research lab. Just blanking on it, Dr. Malcarney or Dr. Turner. You just want to talk to them, or you can look on the department website and see what kind of research they're doing. I think probably you're going to have the RAP program come and talk to you about applying through their RAP system to be a research assistant. Ask your peers who have been here, who are juniors or seniors, if you can Right now, you can't really shadow them in a lab because of COVID, but we've done that in the past a lot. Speak to an advisor if you're an EOP, a Compact Scholar, a Weber's Honors Scholar. Speak to one of your advisors about research, or of course, ask me. I'm happy to help. Internships are also available. We're actually this week, well, I don't know when you're going to listen to this, but today and tomorrow is our fall internship fair hosted by Career Services. You can go to their website and find out about their internship workshops, develop your resume, some other career fairs coming up. So, oh, I don't think, that's interesting. There's a typo. So the Graduate and Professional School Fair is September 30th, not October, September 30th, because I don't think that's a real month. Though that's how it feels in COVID. I think it's still March since being home. Then we have a STEM career fair, which is specifically for STEM students in October. And then in the spring, there's a spring career and internship fair also, the date to be determined. Also getting involved, you can join a major-based student organization. There's lots of wonderful organizations for psychology students, Psy-Chi, Psychology Club, Active Minds. There was a neuroscience club, I don't know if it exists anymore, but there's lots of different organizations to get involved in. Advising, make sure you are seeking out advising. What's great for psychology majors, you have your own advising office, a psychology advising office where you can speak to peers and have peer advising, but also there's faculty that advise there. There's the office campus advising, there's department advisors, there's your assistant dean, there's the College of Sciences Student Success Center. And all these advising areas are now virtually. So just go to their website and you can look to see how to access virtual advising. And networking. Networking is very important. I feel the reason I found out about this job at San Diego State 27 years ago is through my networks, through my friend. I wouldn't have thought to ever apply here. I wouldn't have known about this job. And also by knowing her, she gave a recommendation to the people hiring to even, I knew her, interview her, and I got an interview. And of course, I had to do the work to keep the job, but it's sometimes it's who you know helps to get your foot in the door. Get to know people, your peers, your professors, your TAs, tutors, the staff, because once you make an impression on them, when they hear about jobs or internships or research experiences, they think of you and they share those with you. Communication is very important. When you're emailing, don't email professors like you're texting them. Be professional. Be careful what you post on social media. It's there forever. And friends versus professors is obvious. Although your professors are very friendly with you and some are very informal and say, "Oh, call me by my first name," but make sure you treat them with the utmost respect, especially if you eventually may apply for a position in their research lab. I think I mentioned engage in student organizations. There's a great way to build your leadership skills. First start as a member and then maybe take on an executive board position. Apply for summer research experiences. They are open to any students. You can use Google to your advantage by Googling undergraduate summer research experience. If there's a particular school that you're interested in, you could say summer research experiences at the University of Texas or wherever you're thinking of going. Internships, a lot of internships are posted through Handshake, which is a program that you register in Career Services. So if you go to the Career Services webpage, you click on the Handshake and you create your account and you can get information about internships based on your major. So it's a lot of great information there. And of course, work or volunteer on campus or in the community as it's allowable, especially during COVID. Because this shows, say, if you're applying to graduate school, that it's not all about what you can get from things, but what you can give back to your community. So I was talking about the various professional development workshops that CASA programs offer. These are some of what we do. We do current and post PhD panels where you hear from current PhD students who earned their undergraduate degree here at San Diego State, and then went on and are currently in PhD programs across the country in STEM fields. And then the post one are students who earned their bachelor's degree at San Diego State but already completed their PhD, and they talk about what they're doing. And the importance of these panels is the students sitting on the panels were in your seat. So they're SDSU student. It's not, oh, here's a student who got their undergrad from UCSD who's in PhD program. They're relating to your experience here at San Diego State. We host a Surviving Your First Year in Graduate School, because we like to hear what they always say, the first year is the hardest. Help writing your personal statement, resume, CV, GRE prep, mock interviews, interviewing for labs, interviewing for graduate school, applying to the NSF fellowship, and then applying for summer research. Those are some of the few workshops that we have. This is our fall 2020 flyer. So we've already had our NSF fellowship workshop was last week. Oops, there we go. We had a personal statement workshop with Dr. Teresa DeWello, who's from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, this is her area of expertise, and she presents at our campus each year. Normally she comes in person, but this year was Zoom. This weekend, and I'm not sure when you're going to see this video, we're having our 4th annual recruitment weekend where 20 graduate school recruiters are coming or through Zoom to come talk to SDSU students, and they're from various STEM fields. So we do this event every September. So we'll have it again next September in 2021 and 2022. So if you're interested in grad school and you want to talk to different schools across the country, it's something we offer and it's open to all students. We're going to have a mental health and well-being workshop. Our undergraduate research symposium is a practice for our scholars to present their research orally so they can practice for national conferences. We will have one whole session that's just psychology research, what's going on campus. So I would definitely share that information with you guys, so that if you wanted to attend the Zoom session that has psychology research being presented, you're more than welcome. It would be from 2 to 4:15 on October 16th. Some of these events are IMSD and MARC only because they have space limitations. And if you're interested, you can email me or Michelle to get the registration information. And of course, here is my contact information. I'm happy to speak to each of you, or any of you who are interested one-on-one. If you have more questions, you can book an appointment with me through You Can Book Me, and this is my information here. And just when you put in the comments of why you want the appointment, just say you heard the Psych 201 presentation and you want to talk more either about research or CASA programs. And with that, I think I will stop the recording. I look forward to meeting some of you via Zoom and then hopefully on campus when we return sometime in the near future. I thank you, and I hope you learned a little something during this presentation that you will find helpful. And I'm going to try and stop this recording. Share.